Welcome back. In this module, we're going to be looking at Doji candlesticks. Doji candlesticks happens to be another type of candlestick that we encounter most of the time in the market. All right. Now, how do you define? How do we define Doji candlestick? It is basically when the opening and closing prices are the same. When the opening and closing prices at a certain period are actually the same. So it doesn't really matter if it can happen in at any time frame. It could happen at monthly, it could happen at weekly, it could happen at daily, it could happen at you know at any time frame at all, even up to like a minute, right? So the candlestick Doji that we call Doji actually indicates that neither sellers or buyers are in control during that period, during that time. Okay, all right. So it means that price actually, the price actually ended exactly where it started. So when you see a Doji in the market, when you see a Doji candlestick, it is telling you about an indecision in the market. It means that, you know, basically, I mean, everybody's just like happy with each other. There's no much, that's actually happening in the direction of the market. There is an indecision in the market. Okay, so let's quickly move on. All right, so like we said all the time that Doji is actually an indecision candle. Now, look at a Doji candlestick. Look at the anatomy of a Doji candlestick, right? Now, um, the price actually opened at this particular place, and at some point, sellers actually came in. They flexed their muscles. They pushed the price down. Buyers came in. They pushed the price up. Okay, they pushed the price up, and at some point the sellers also came back in and simply just forced the price back down. you know they just forced the price back down to exact point where that where the opening price was. So by the time the session was actually closing, the price has actually come back to the same place where it opened. All right. So that's why we call it an indecision candle. So let's quickly move on. Now, we have another type of doji candlestick that's referred to as dragonfly doji. Dragonfly doji. Now, in dragonfly doji, what happens is that when the price opened, when that session opened, there we have the opening price, and the sellers or the suppliers, they came in and flexed their muscles, and because they are actually in there to flex their muscles, they pushed the sellers, they pushed the price down until we have the lowest at this particular at this particular place, and buyers simply came in with their orders and pushed the price back up. Okay, that is why we are seeing this long wick. We are seeing this long tail or long shadow, depends on exactly what you want to call it, and they simply just push the price back to exactly where it actually started from. Now, you can see this big rejection by the buyers, okay, and they've simply just pushed it. So in this kind of session, it means that the buyers are what? I mean, they actually came in to really flex their muscles, and they actually overpowered the sellers during that particular session, okay? Now, the next one is what we call gravestone doji. gravestone doji. It's actually a bearish candlestick. Now, what happens in this case is that the price actually opened during that particular session, during the particular session. Like I've been telling you that these candlesticks can happen at any time frame. It could be on daily, it could be on monthly, it could be on 5 minutes, it could be on 30 minutes, 1 hour. It doesn't matter. You're going to find these candlesticks all on all time frames, on all charts of different time time frames. All right. So what happened is that the price simply just opened in this place, and buyers came in. They flooded the market with demand. With demand for that instrument, and they pushed the price up. And of course, the sellers, they were also looking at those things. I mean, they have what the buyers, they have it in surplus. So they simply just supplied what the buyers are demanding, the kind of demand orders they have in the market. And they simply just supplied it, and they supplied even over, and they pushed the price back to exactly where it actually started from. When you see a gravestone doji, it is telling you that sellers are actually becoming a force in that particular market at that time. Unlike when you have a dragonfly is telling you that the big boys, the buyers are actually, coming into the market to take control of that market. But in gravestone, it means that the sellers are actually coming into that market to really take charge. Now, let's quickly look at this chart to check out our doji. Okay. Now, look at the one that we marked out here. This is a doji, and this one is actually telling you that there's an indecision in this market at this particular point in time. Now, look at all these ones that we marked. They can actually have different body sizes. Now, they are what? They are your regular doji. Okay. All right. So this one too is also a doji, right? This is a doji. Okay. So you may just have to open your chart and just look at different time frames and begin to identify these doji candlesticks. Now, the next type of candlesticks that we're going to be looking at is what we call morning star. Morning star. And basically, the morning star consists three candles. Okay, there is a bearish candle, there is a bearish, there is a bearish candle followed by a doji, then a bullish candle. So when you see morning star, is actually viewed, or is actually saying is a signal that a bullish reversal pattern is actually a bullish reversal is about to happen. When you say a bullish reversal pattern, it means that you are looking that price is going to start going up from that particular place. And what does that mean? It simply signals that the control of the market has changed from the sellers or the suppliers to the buyers or people placing demands. Buyers are the one placing demand, sellers are the one making supplies. Okay, so let's move on. All right, so this is how Morningstar looks like. Here you have a bearish candle. Now, this one is like a small bearish candle, but it can as well be a doji. Okay, it can as well be a doji, then followed by another big bullish candle, right? So there is a big bearish candle followed by a doji, then followed by another big bullish candle. Okay, all right. So now let's look at how it looks a on a chart. Now you can see that as from this particular place, the price has actually been going down. It was actually plummeting. It means that sellers were actually in charge. Sellers were in charge up onto this particular place. And here you have a big bearish candle, then followed by a doji candle. Then the next candle was also a big bullish candle. And from that, this pattern is what we call the morning star. This is what you call morning star. And you can see as soon as this morning star was formed, the price began to what, to rally to the upside. Now again, this is not just this is not showing or anything about trade setup. We are just telling, I'm just sharing with you the different candlesticks we have as for now, just for you to be able to identify what they are. We're still going to cover how to set up a proper trade in later modules. Okay. All right. So the next one is actually called evening star candlesticks. Basically, evening star is actually the opposite of morning star. It's actually the opposite of morning star. It also consists of three candles. It has bullish candle followed by a doji, then a bearish candle. Okay. So it means that it actually signifies the end of an uptrend, and there's going to be a reversal from that particular point, to the downside. It signals that the control has changed from buyers, the set of people that are pushing the price upward, to the sellers and the suppliers who are actually forcing the price down. All right. So this is how it actually looks. You have a bullish candle, with a big body, followed by a doji, then followed by, a bearish candle. All right. So there you have it, the evening star on a chart. Can you see that, the price was actually to the upside, and once it got to this particular place, there's a big bullish candle followed by a doji, followed by a followed by a bearish candle. And look at what happened next. From that particular point, the price began to move down. Yet again, this is not showing you how to set up a trade. This is just showing you the type of candlesticks that we have. This is evening star. All right. So we're going to continue from we're going to, this is going to be the next this is going to be the end of this model, and I'll see you in the next.